A slight correction from what I said last week in my SmackDown review. Post-Superstar Shakeup, SmackDown isn't terrible. It's just really, really bizarre. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your April 25th SmackDown Live. Go home to Payback, I guess, because it's a shared pay-per-view review. A little bit of house cleaning before we go on. Look up there in the corner. There's the little exclamation mark annotation gimmick. Go up there. Please check out the new Raw 3-count series that I'm doing. Still getting very mixed reviews on that. Tell me what you guys think, and I hope you guys get on board with what I'm doing there. It's not a highlight. It's not a best of. It's literally 3 random topics that I pick to choose from on Raw. I've only got 2 episodes up there so far. Let me know how you think, and as I say, the reactions are very 50-50, and especially the usual suspects. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, speaking of the usual suspects, up in the annotation as well is your opportunity to join the May Ask the Phoenix Q&A. Lots and lots of time to get your questions in for that. Let's talk about SmackDown. Now, the previews that we've been seeing for SmackDown since last week were advertising Shinsuke Nakamura, saying that he's going to kick off the show, which to all of us means, okay, he's going to be in some kind of segment, and he's not going to wrestle just yet, which is fine. A lot of people are out there pressing the point, and I agree. Shinsuke Nakamura is a attraction. He doesn't need to wrestle every week, which is all good. Renee Young comes out to start off the show. Sorry. You would really think I'm on drugs, but my sinuses are just that shitty. She comes out to introduce Shinsuke Nakamura. Ziggler cuts in on the whole damn thing, and he basically takes over the promo. He excuses Renee Young. Shinsuke Nakamura, in his own charismatic way, opens up the ropes for Renee Young doing the whole chivalry bit. Ziggler cuts a long and sort of meandering promo. He says, I'm going to play interviewer. He asks some mock questions that you would hear on an average talk show. He mocks the accent. He tells the audience that what Nakamura means to say is that he loves Ziggler, and he's Ziggler's biggest fan. Ziggler deserves titles, and he deserves to be an active Hall of Famer, which is... Ric Flair did it for a night. That's about it. You are not Ric Flair, I'm just saying. He mocks the entrance, he mocks the dance moves, he calls Shinsuke Nakamura crazy, and then he goes on a long diatribe about Michael Jackson and how Michael Jackson had his fame and his time and then he fizzled out, which is kind of sad when you're talking about a dead celebrity, but whatever. He said he just disappeared into obscurity, came back as a wrestler in Japan known as Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura finally grabs the microphone, does what he should do because his promos are not that great, keeps it nice and short and sweet. You know, it's my turn to ask you something, and he says, what is your problem? He says, I'm sorry I don't have a translator. He says a bunch of shit in Japanese, and then he calls Ziggler a jackass. Ziggler gives him a gut shot, so Nakamura responds in kind, but not kindly, with an inverted exploder suplex. Almost hits him with the Kinshasa, but Ziggler bails. Gee, I wonder if they're going to feud. But it was a good way to start the show. It's very cool the way they're playing up Nakamura, and they're playing around, the same as they did on NXT. They're playing around the idea that he can't cut very good promos. And it's not that he can't cut good promos, he just can't do them in English. If anybody ever heard the interview that he did on Talk is Jericho, the Jericho podcast, it's interesting, but it's a very, very hard listen. I would suggest you guys go check it out. Go listen to it. There's a lot of interesting stories to tell, a lot of interesting stories between Shinsuke Nakamura and Daniel Bryan, but it's a very hard listen because his accent is so goddamn thick. But this way, you get somebody like Ziggler. This is why I was hoping he was going to feud with The Miz, honestly, because The Miz could carry a promo and Ziggler, or Nakamura would just have to stand there, wait till Miz is done whatever he has to say, Kinshasa, everybody cheers, everybody goes home happy. We're going to get that with Ziggler, but the fans have cooled on Ziggler, so I don't know how that's going to go. AJ Styles versus Corbin, again, for reasons, but with Owens on commentary. Now, we're linking a bunch of stories up. It gives Owens a chance to talk about his match with Jericho on the Raw pay-per-view Payback. Lets Styles and Corbin show us what they can do. Again, Corbin's star is obviously on the rise, and Styles gets a shot at the United States champion, whoever that is, Kevin Owens. after Payback, which is great, and that's going to happen at Backlash, I do believe. But a takedown by Corbin, series of kicks by Styles, corner strikes by Styles, and a collar elbow tie-up late in the game. Shoulder tackle and a boot out of the ring by Corbin. Corbin rides a neck vice and a takedown and goes back to the neck vice once again. Choke backbreaker by Corbin, which is becoming one of his signature moves, which is really cool. Obviously, goozles him, takes him up for a choke slam, but brings him across the knee instead of to the mat. It's nice, follows it up with a stiff forearm. Snake Eyes and a Pele by AJ Styles, along with a corner clothesline, boot and a forearm by Styles. Corbin tries to powerbomb AJ Styles. Styles gets the quick roll up for the win. This is cool. The story that they're playing out with AJ Styles is really interesting with Corbin, because he's getting these wins, but he's getting them by scheming means. He's getting a quick roll up. He's getting a fluke win. He's getting a count out last week. He won a triple threat match last week where Corbin wasn't the one pinned. So AJ Styles keeps coming up on the good end of the shtick, but he's not pinning Corbin clean without controversy. So Corbin's always got something to come back with. It's a really, really simple story that they're telling, and I hope they use it. I hope they use the story and AJ Styles to really, really push Corbin to his limits, because it'll be good. Owens and Corbin do 2-on-1 beatdown on Styles after the match. Sami Zayn comes out to make the save. The commentators say, oh, look, it's the ghosts of Owens' past coming back to haunt him once again. Which is really WWE's way of saying that they're never going to let go of the Owens-Zayn rivalry. Right now, we've got Owens and Jericho for the United States Champion. Even though we know how that's going to go, previews are coming out later this week. We've got two Canadians fighting over the U.S. title. So if you're going to have it so that he goes and feuds with AJ Styles after this, if he doesn't beat AJ, or if AJ Styles doesn't beat him, rather, sorry, I guarantee you that the writers of SmackDown are going to put him with Sami Zayn again, and we're going to have another two Canadians fighting over the United States Championship. I don't mind that. It makes me laugh, but you're taking two great guys that could do umpteen amounts of great things, and you're going back to the same well once too often. Eventually, it's going to run dry. The one thing I do like, typically in this scenario where you've got, you know, two heels beating up one babyface and then another babyface comes to make the save, even the odds the heels run away. In this case, 2-on-1 beatdown, Sami Zayn comes out to make the save, but it's not successful because the heels still stand tall at the end, which is good. We're going to see Kevin Owens make that entrance on Sunday where he walks out on his own face. It's awkward. Charlotte. Backstage, you guys know I'm not a fan of Charlotte and her promo work, but this one wasn't too bad. This one wasn't too cringeworthy. It didn't make me want to turn the sound down. Basically, most people have gold running through their veins. Most people have blood running through their veins. I come from a different pedigree. I've got gold running through my veins. I did everything there was to do on Raw. Tonight is going to be my drive for 5. I'm already the greatest superstar in WWE history. Everybody better get on board type deal, which is good. It was good. It didn't try to be spectacular. It was a good promo that was meant to be a good promo, and it came out as a good promo. It wasn't trying to be great, which would have made it suck. American Alpha versus the Colognes in a Beat the Clock challenge. We got these guys fighting tonight. We got two other teams fighting later on in the night, which we're going to get to later, which is fucking great. But American Alpha versus the Colognes. The Colognes are no longer dressed like the Shining Stars. They've got sort of different music. They're being introduced as Primo and Epico Cologne. Their graphics and all that sort of. They've shed the shitty Shining Stars. The shitty Shooting Stars gimmick is what I was about to say there. That doesn't make any sense at all. But basically, they left it on Raw, where shitty gimmicks belong. Backslide by Gable to start the match, who rides a headlock, and there's more pin attempts. It's really cool when you see a Beat the Clock challenge, because everything is ramped up. Everything is pushing towards the finish a lot faster. You're not going to get a particularly long match out of a Beat the Clock challenge, but it does string a story throughout the night, which is nice, and not a lot of other stipulations do that. Drop kick by Jordan, who rides a face lock, and then a front slam. Gable throws some elbows and then some boots by Epico and a mounted punch from him. Head and arm lock by Primo. High knee and a clothesline combination by Epico and Primo. Epico rides a headlock and a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker back suplex by Epico. Senton and a leg drop by Primo. Primo and Epico keep trying to go for that powerbomb codebreaker. Powerbomb backstabber combination that I think is going to be their new tag team finisher. They never get it in this match, but we get this weird sort of rolling tarantula type submission move by Primo, but it's quickly broken and a Grand Amplitude gets the win for American Alpha, predictably at 5 minutes and 17 seconds. So the other two teams when they fight later tonight, have a time of 5 minutes and 17 seconds to beat. Who are those other fantastic teams that are going to fight later tonight? It's the Ascension and Breezango. Oh, yes. Rusev, backstage, and in comments that were recorded earlier, says he doesn't like Daniel Bryan, he doesn't like Shane McMahon, and he doesn't like Vince McMahon's superstar shakeup. If I don't get this is where it's weird, because we're building towards Payback, we're building towards Backlash, sort of consecutively. If I don't get a title shot at Money in the Bank, I'm going to go home to Bulgaria. That's far in the future. There's a lot of time between now and then. I don't know. He's rocking a big fucking Strowman beard, though, so that's something. The anti-Charlotte contingent of Carmella and Ellsworth and Natty and Tamina and everybody else that doesn't have anything, that creative doesn't have anything else for, they confront Becky, who wasn't there last week when this group all came together. Becky sort of cuts a half-and-half promo, when she's asked about Charlotte, because she doesn't agree with her tactics, she doesn't agree with the means that she uses to get to, the ends justify the means and all that sort of thing, but she respects Charlotte, she respects that she earned the right to be number one contender last week, and that she's going to get the title tonight from Trash Bag. Oh, yes. It's very fence-sitting promo by Becky Lynch. It's kind of cool, kind of gray area, kind of not being Snow White babyface, which is good. I don't understand why you've got a faction of four, like, I guess Ellsworth counts as a half. So 3.5 heels that are going to attack another heel who's going for the championship against the babyface, who's Naomi, who's terrible, who should be the heel because she is by definition. It doesn't. The only clean-cut babyface, as far as I'm concerned, on the show is Becky Lynch. So let her be a little edgy. It's all good. Randy Orton and Eric Rowan have a no DQ match, and I promise you I don't care. Randy Orton. He's the world champion. And he's fighting Eric Rowan, who has zero identity. Of everybody that's broken off from Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper has successfully broken away from Bray Wyatt twice and shown that he can do it on his own. Braun Strowman is showing what he can fucking do on his own over on Raw, destroying, Roman Reigns and Kalisto and various vehicles in the lot. Eric Rowan is terrible. And Eric Rowan's only real identity is that he is Bray Wyatt's lackey when he's not injured. So the match is, I don't care. The match is slow. The match is way too long for what it was, because you never for a second think that Eric Rowan has any reason to win this match. You figure there's going to be a jump scare, there's going to be a Bray Wyatt promo. There isn't even that, really. There's a goofy looking spot, and it's straight out of a cartoon. You got Eric Rowan standing on the apron, there's a table on the outside, and he's waving his arms because he's about to fall off the apron, and it looks like shit. RKO, Randy Orton gets the win, and nobody's surprised. Orton cuts a promo about the fact that we still don't know what the House of Horrors match is. I know what the House of Horrors match is. It's going to be Bray Wyatt's Eternal Hell. In the immortal words of my friends over at CB Over the Ropes, gotta love an Eternal Hell. Jinder Mahal comes out to get in Randy Orton's face and try to make us care. I could say so much that would get me in so much trouble, especially being from Brampton. I have more talent, class, culture, and ability than you do. How dare you overlook me? Blah, 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 blah. Racist angle, blah, blah, blah. 3-on-1 beatdown from Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys. Cobra Clutch slam to Orton, and Jinder Mahal leaves with the belt, which would be unspeakable if not for the match that Randy Orton has on Sunday being non-title, which makes it utterly pointless. Oh yes, the entire time Jinder Mahal is cutting his promo, the crowd is giving him a shut up chant. So I guess the Twitter and internet pleas of, oh come on, it could be good, it's something new, give Jinder a chance, lasted about 7 days. Oh, yes. The sad thing about all this, and I'm going to compare it to Samoa Joe, ironically enough, I'm ridiculously happy that Samoa Joe's on the main roster, even if it's going to be on Raw. I'm ridiculously happy that he's got a program with Seth Rollins, which is great. You got two great wrestlers that I've wanted to see on the main roster forever, since Seth Rollins was in NXT, since I was back in the day when I watched TNA and I saw Samoa Joe there. I hate that he's there just to be the right hand of Triple H. Be your own person. Come in on your own laurels. I mean, I know you need a story to get from A to B, but I would have loved it if Samoa Joe just came in on his own. I'm going to wreck shop. Seth Rollins, you'll do. Snaps his leg, etc. But he just comes in and he's big and he's tough and he's showing what he can do, but he's basically Triple H's bitch, which is not cool. The same thing on a much, much smaller scale goes for the Bollywood Boys here. I am more interested in seeing the Bollywood Boys tag team on my screen than I am Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal has shown that if you stick around long enough and you're loyal enough to the company and you work hard and you do enough steroids, eventually you will break through the glass ceiling. But I'd rather see his lackeys than him. Anybody, and yes, yeah, go ahead, call me a mark, do whatever the fuck you want to do. Go back and watch the CWC. Go back and watch the Dusty Classic from last year. Go back and watch their intermittent matches on NXT. The Bollywood Boys, well, when they're baby faces, are entertaining, but they're a decent team in the ring. They've always been used as enhancement talent. I'd love to see them in the tag team division. I mean, if we can give the fucking Shining Stars a push, we can give these guys a shot. Look at what they're doing with a guy like... What the fuck is his name? Not in Raw mode right now, so I'm not thinking about the Cruiserweights. What the fuck is his name? The guy that they're pushing really good on 205 Live and Raw. Mustafa Ali. Check out what they're doing with him right now. Why couldn't you do that with these guys rather than sticking him with Jinder Mahal because he's not American, so we have to do another race angle? Fuck it. Oh yes. See, if they were giving this shot to Jinder and it was just he's pissed off, he's been overlooked, he could rehash the whole 3MB thing and how retarded it was and how many shitty gimmicks they've given him over the years and he's fed up and he's had enough and he's going to stand up and be a serious wrestler, that I could do. But the typical, I'm not from America, this company's American, this show is probably happening in America except for twice a year when they go overseas, you guys are booing me because of where I'm from, not because I'm a fucking jobber. Go with that. It's so lazy. And then we see a video rather. I can speak, I swear. We see a video of Lana dancing for reasons. Now, if you follow Twitter and various other things and various other dirt sheets, etc., you have seen the videos of the NXT house shows where Lana's been testing out her new gimmick, where she's basically a dancer. This is, from what I've heard or what I've gathered, basically the gimmick that Emma was supposed to do and they made her Emelina, which is fine, and she does a little bit of a, do-si-do down to the ring and then she has her match. Her ring gear is a little awkward, but whatever. But in this promotional video, they're filming her in front of the SmackDown entrance ramp in an empty, dark arena. Anticlimactic to begin with, but you can tell whoever did this, whether it was Kevin Dunn with his fucking buck teeth or not, and yes, I'm stealing that from JD from New York, sorry, but, Kevin Dunn with his buck teeth basically took a drawing of Jessica Rabbit and was like, Lana can do that. And that's it. I don't get it. Friggin' Rusev threatening to not come to work, and Lana has become a lounge singer slash dancer slash, I guess she's an escort that wants to be a wrestler. Okay. Beat the Clock Challenge round 2 is the Ascension versus Breezango. Time to beat is 5:17. Breeze and Victor, okay, both of these teams get treated like shit a lot, so them going 5:17 is probably going to be the longest match they've had in a while. Breeze and Victor start off. Uppercut by Victor, corner beatdown by the Ascension, mounted punch by Connor, Insecurity by Breeze, forearms, elbows, and jabs by Fandango, high knee by Victor, double team by the Ascension in the corner, super kick by Breeze, Falcon Arrow by fucking Fandango was nice, and it got the unpredictable win for Breezango. With 2 minutes and 36 seconds to spare, Breezango are your new #1 contenders. Breezango are taking on the Usos at Backlash in like a month and a half from now, which is fine. And I will say what I have been saying since these guys became a tag team. No, I don't like the gimmick. The gimmick is shit. The gimmick is cheesy. These two guys are fucking talented. Tyler Breeze was basically treated like the Dolph Ziggler of NXT, made everybody he worked with look great, and Fandango, back when he was Johnny Curtis, was a creepy fucker and an amazing wrestler for what he was at the time in the stage of his career. Keep these guys together, have them have a moment where they break out of the shitty gimmicks, kind of like what I was saying with Jinder Mahal a minute ago. Break out of the gimmicks and just be a great tag team without the fucking selfie sticks and the fashion police and the tickets and all that shit, and let them be a good team, because they are a good team and they work together as a good team. And if they beat the Usos, I'm going to laugh a whole lot. My question is, who's the heel? who's the heel, because Breezango's obnoxious. And the Usos are basically like, again, we got to go back to the stereotypes of WWE. They were flashy, colorful, plastic pants wearing good guys, and then they became thugs and beat everybody up. So reasons. But what I will say, and what I will notice throughout this entire night, really, and going back to the Superstar Shakeup, is all the people, and they're all heels. The Bollywood Boys have turned heel, I guess, to support Jinder Mahal. Bollywood Boys, Jinder Mahal himself, and Breezango after this match, they're supposed to be heels. They're supposed to be cocky pricks rubbing it in everybody's face, but they can't help but smile a little bit. And if you watch them as they're coming up the rampway, etc., you can see them smiling. You can see them taking that half second to sit back and soak up the moment, because they haven't been given. They haven't been given. Like I say, I'm going to go back to my initial example of the Bollywood Boys from earlier. They were in the CWC. They were both eliminated in the first round. They were used in an exhibition during the live finale, but it was a tag team match versus two guys that were randomly thrown together. In the Dusty Classic, I think they were also eliminated in the first round. On NXT, they're good for what they are, but they're used as enhancement talent, and now they're being used as an integral part of a primary storyline for a title. And Jinder Mahal stole the belt, which doesn't matter because Randy's not defending it on Sunday anyway. But if you look at Jinder a little bit, Bollywood Boys a lot, and especially these guys who have been grinding on SmackDown for a long time, it doesn't matter how heel they are. You can't help but see them soak up that moment for a second. And even if it is just for that little moment, because I've been backing this team and getting a lot of flack for it here on YouTube and Twitter, etc., I'm going to soak it up with them because I'm a fan of this team. And if this team wins, I'll still hate the gimmick. I'll still say they deserve a lot better, but at least they'll have some gold around their waists, and that will ease the pain a little bit. Oh yes. Charlotte versus the social justice warrior trash bag known as Naomi. Oh yes. For the SmackDown Live Women's title. Charlotte beat her clean last week. Oh yes. And I thought it was going to happen again tonight. I thought she was going to go in to Backlash and continue her undefeated pay-per-view streak, or start a new one for her SmackDown life, or do whatever she wanted to do. But collar and elbow tie up, a slam and a side headlock by Charlotte. Naomi botches Snake Eyes, because Snake Eyes is hard. Trip on the apron, slam on the floor, both by Charlotte. Charlotte rides a cravat and turns it into a front face lock. Kitchen sink, Beal by the hair, knee drop in the corner by Charlotte. Corner chops by Charlotte until Naomi falls down in a heap, like the trash that she is, and it turns into a mudhole stomp. Let's take a moment to say that Naomi doesn't know what a jawbreaker is. Naomi thinks a jawbreaker is, I'm going to pull your hair and fall on my ass. That's what she calls a neck break, or sorry, that's what she calls a jawbreaker. And then, as we've come to expect, deep breath, say it loud, say it proud. The bullshit no actual contact dance kicks. Oh yes, and a stunner with no contact. I promise you. I know you guys think I'm shitting on Naomi for the fun of it, and I promise you it is a lot of fun. Go back and watch that match and try to tell me. Try to freeze frame it. Try to go back and watch it. Try to delude yourself into thinking that that maneuver made any contact whatsoever. Forearm smash by Charlotte. The chocolate flying camel toe of death does not get the job done because there is a ridiculous deadlift Batista bomb by Charlotte, followed by the moonsault, which should get her the win. It really should. Pull a reverse Alondra Blaze, pull that women's title out of the trash, put it on Charlotte, the lesser of two evils, and yeah, she's starting to win me over a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But she's attacked by the anti-Charlotte brigade of Carmella and Ellsworth and Natty and Tamina and the rest of the people that work for Titus's Catering. Oh yes. 3-on-1 beatdown on Charlotte, who's the heel, who doesn't have any backing at all from Naomi, who's supposed to be the face. And with everything going on in the ring, the show goes off the air to what? We want Becky chants. Oh yes. So, Charlotte should be the champion, and she's not. Randy Orton is the champion that's not defending his title on Sunday, and his title just went home with Jinder Mahal. Breezango is getting a shot at the tag team titles, and Kevin Owens is walking on his own face. This is what's happening on SmackDown. I'm having a lot more fun with it. After last week, you guys saw my review last week. I ranted on this show so much, and I can't. I have to laugh because it's not even bad anymore. Now it's just bizarre. Now it's one of those anything can happen. Jack Swagger could be the world champion again, and he's not even in the company. James Ellsworth is going to take on Brock Lesnar next week and get a fluke victory. Like, that's the kind of mindset that we're in right now on SmackDown. Everything, to be serious for a second, everything is going to settle after Payback. All the storylines that were absolutely fucked and unfinished by the superstar fuck up will be settled by the end of Payback. Jericho will be on Raw, helping them boost their stories with The Miz and I totally had a brain fart. Ambrose. Pretty sure Finn Balor is going to get thrown into that mix. I mean, Randy Orton's still going to have the title here on SmackDown because he's not defending it. Bray Wyatt is just having a match because, and let's be real, that match is only happening on Payback because Brock Lesnar ain't anywhere to be seen on Payback. I gotta laugh. The show's fucking bizarre. Charlotte should have won the title tonight, but it is what it is, and it is SmackDown. Like I say, guys, check out my new the Raw 3-count series that I just started up. Add your questions to the Q&A. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there. Talk down there. Start a conversation. Keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later. But for right now, I am tagging out. Bye, guys.
You're a freak like me.